Hello, YouTube. So now we're at Mars, surviving Mars, 383. So this is the next video, and I'm just gonna show you this just because, as you can see here, I just hit a milestone. I hit the milestone for um, basically building these super large domes. Uh, so I've got one right here. And so here's the colony that I did a video. I did a 365 video. I haven't been playing the game in a while, but I figured I'd pick up where I left off. Uh, so you can see here the vats again. Um, and I'm getting prepared to put a lake back in here. And the colony is now at 2,400 people, and most of them are Martians. Very few Earthborn people. Um, so I definitely need residences. So that's what these buildings are going to be. They're going to be basically to handle the population. So I've got a large amount of growth right now, but I'd just like to show the colony off a bit before I move on to the next stage. So you can see here I've got the energy up top here, and again that great view of the colony. Um, and you can see it's growing nicely. Now everything is attached now. Um, so I'm just going to go and zoom in on these things, and we're going to play. So it sounds to me like I've got my TV audio on, so let me just change that for a second. All right, so it should sound good for you. Um, so yeah, these are the different domes, and they're getting more and more crowded. You can see here we've got a llama and some tortoises. Just generally people doing stuff, like apparently exercising in this little plaza here. Um, this is a solar panel filled dome. Here's a farming dome. Uh, you can see here the water is at 10, so it's pretty high. Uh, all of the farms end up using more and more water. And this one has a casino. You can see here I have small machine shops and small electronic factories. It was an upgrade. It was a paid upgrade to the game. Same with the apartments, like using these different apartment styles, and the small grocer. These were all part of one of the uh, DLCs. So here's a science lab. So we're just going to go and take a look from this perspective on some of the domes, just to see everybody, what they're up to, what they're doing. There's a doctor. Apparently they have horses in this particular dome. So this is the city. So a Martian city, in theory, as of this game in 2020, uh, would be to build a bunch of domes and put buildings inside these domes. I'm not sure how accurate that would be to the actual colonization of Mars, which is starting, right about now. the planning stages are anyway. And I think that most of the, like if you were to actually colonize Mars, you'd probably want to take advantage of caves and uh, tunneling. And so I would think that a lot of infrastructure might actually be underground. So it's hard to know. Like, for example, if you had a dome structure, right, and it went up and peaked out just around the top part above the ground, and then the rest of it was all covered, it'd probably be easier to make than a dome like this. Possibly. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert in these things. I just enjoy this video game. So, let's take another look at some of the things that make this game awesome. So, let's see, resupply. My research is down to the last bit. I'm getting, I have to do 30,000 for these research, but my research right now is at 8,000. So I'm probably going to clear these fairly quickly. Um, and as you can see here with the colony, it's going to extend out this way. I've started terraforming, and so in the terraforming, I'm trying to add grass. And so if I click on one of these buildings here, you can see I'm putting down lichen, grass, and so far nothing. And that's because nothing is available. So it just basically switches between lichen and grass. So that's all that can grow on Mars at the moment in this game. I'm going to have to add, uh, yeah, definitely going to have to add water and some atmosphere. Yes, we have to somehow keep the atmosphere closer to the surface. So that's where I believe it's this one. No, that's heat. It's this one right here, magnetic field generator. So it tries to pull the atmosphere down closer to the uh, planet's surface using this device. And let's see, where is it? It is probably in, oh, you know what? It's over here in life support. This one right here. So we definitely need to use this. Question is, where do I want to place it? So I do have a dust storm happening right now. Apparently there's a leak. I have water. I have everything. I'm not actually as worried about it. So I might as well just put one over here. You can't really see very well because of this dust storm. If you look at the map, it's like the lower area. It's filled with dust from the dust storm. Um, and yeah, I do have a loss of water. Let's see, 25, demand 182, stored 15,000. Same with the air. I've got lots and lots. And it's going to last for 2 days, so I'm not too worried about it. Um, Now, these domes, I really do need to get them all hooked up. So what I'm going to do is going to run this. Okay, so I'm just adding the uh, infrastructure to the structure. And it gives you an idea of where I'm going with this. I think I'm going to end up building it all the way around here, connecting it, making it one big city. And I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll go out on these wings, these back areas. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this top area or this top area because this is going to be a pretty big city, and then everything else will end up being terraformed. I might do something up here. I do have a couple of uh, options. So, for example, uh, we've got this, Omega telescope, and then there's also this geoscape dome. But other than that, like the most of the big items have been made. So at this point, it's just uh, terraforming the planet, getting my population up to probably 10,000. That's where I'll want to go with this, and um, doing some landscaping, which will be interesting because I want to try to keep this center section because it's very natural. I like the nature, like the natural shape of the Martian landscape. Don't necessarily want to lose that. You can see it's pretty dynamic, right? So you don't necessarily want to lose that because once you lose it, it's gone. Like if you and it just looks plain, right? Same with things like this meteorite impact. Some of these hills, and yeah. So let's get through this next section. Uh, so I'm about to get through the dust storm, and I definitely need to get more population. So, all right, one last tour, so to speak. We're gonna run this at a decent level. You can see here, I've got cloning vat in here, plus water reclamation, and then a bunch of farms. You can see my water is actually 1.5, even though I have all the farms, and it's because of the water reclamation facility. And then I've got all these farms right along here, which contribute to a pretty decent amount of food. So just keeping up with that. And so yeah, this is the new section over here we were looking at. We're just looking at it from a different angle. And this is it. You can see here you can actually see all the windmills up on the rise there. And you can see it's a wintry area over here. So I'm not building in that area because I would need ground heaters, which if we look here, I do have an area that's prone to temperature fluctuations. So I'm going to put some of these heaters here. And those will keep the domes warm. And I've put a sanitarium and a hospital. I haven't built a hospital yet. I've only built clinics. So this is the first hospital. And that's what I find is useful about these dime domes is that you can put two Capitol buildings in it, which is pretty handy. You can only put one in the dome, on the large dome. But if you were to do agriculture or something where you need a lot of space, the large domes are ideal for that. More compact dome. These are actually more expensive, I think, to make. But you can have two main towers. You can have twin uh, apartment buildings, like in this one. You can see this one here has a lot of apartment buildings. Has a little empty space. You should probably use that. But um, overall, that's kind of the layout and the design. And it's fun game. So good luck with your game. I'm going to post again uh, as I get further on. And yeah, have fun playing Surviving Mars.